name is Stephanie Linkus. I'm the new president and CEO of United Way of the Ocoee region, and I'd like to welcome you to our first virtual annual meeting. 2020 was a year like no other, and before we dive in, let us take a moment of silence to remember all of those who lost their lives due to COVID-19. As we get started, I want to explain how this week is going to go. Normally, we would all come together for a big dinner and enjoy all that United Way was able to accomplish within the community because of you. And one day we'll be able to do that again. But for now, we're bringing the celebration to you. I'm joined today with Phil Cook, our chairman of the board and fearless leader during 2020. How are you today, Phil?
I'm doing all right. Stephanie, if you'd have told me a year ago what this year held, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have think you're true. And almost a year ago to the day you started with us at the United Way. It's been a crazy year.
It has been a crazy year. It's been crazy, but it's been very rewarding, fulfilling. Yeah. The team has really stepped up, and this is why United Way's here. This is what we're all about.
And even then, responding right away. So of course we had COVID hit, and then we had tornadoes that came through as well. So pretty much your first day on the job, you were faced with a lot of challenges that we wanted to try to help come along and support and help the community.
That's right. Thankfully, we had Ocoee Connect. Our Health and Human Service hotline was in place, and we've been able to serve well over 1,000 families since the start of COVID. And then, of course, we had the Easter Sunday tornadoes. So at one point, half our team was helping with Ocoee Connect calls, and the other half was on the ground at the tornado site, helping those folks as well. So very, very busy year last year for United Way team and volunteers.
Well, there's so many things that we do that we hope everyone in the community knows about, and those joining us for our annual meeting in this new reality as we pivoted. But there's this last week I got to do a reading that I hadn't done before, and I got to sit and read. And even the Adventures in Reading program that people may not know about is a wonderful program that helps so many folks in the community as well.
That's right. Adventures in Reading is our podcast that is special for Imagination Library. I actually got to read a book myself. The Very Hungry Caterpillar was one of my all-time favorites, as well as one that I read many, many times to my boys over the years. So we're really excited to release that podcast and for children and parents to be able to use that and enjoy it.
Well, I read The Listening Rabbit. It was great. I'd read it before. I'm an empty nester. My kids were older, but I did it in one take. I couldn't believe it. I was so happy about that. But the book was great, and my kids now have it at home. We've ordered it for our kids that are older, so it was a good experience as well. And then things like Day of Action. I'm thinking of that. We're out in the community doing things, helping people. So the Day of Action comes to mind that we've helped throughout the year as well.
That's right. It looked a little different this year. Yeah. It was tough. Most of the time, regularly, we would have hundreds of volunteers out and about in the community. This year, it did look a little different. We did have some teams that went out and volunteered. We had a lot of things going on at local elementary schools, and many projects were accomplished. We had folks who were doing some volunteer work actually at home, some special projects, but we were able to pull that off. Candace Natola worked her magic with that, and we were able to go ahead and have a Day of Action even during COVID.
Well, you've obviously been with United Way for many years, and we've talked about this past year for us, but I was thinking about my first experience with the United Way here in what we used to call the United Way of Bradley County, but the Ocoee region, of course, was an allocation panel. I volunteered, and I loved being a part of that because I got to see the resources and funds that were given, that I had given, and how they were being used in the community. Then I got to decide how they were used. So even something like the allocation panels are such a critical part of what we do as well.
That's right. It's interesting because Day of Action and allocation panels were how I became a United Way volunteer and became involved. So, those two are near and dear to my heart. But the allocation panels, we also had to do those a little differently. We had 33 Zoom meetings with panel volunteers.
Zoom, what is Zoom? I don't know what you're talking about. What is that? Oh, I'm sorry, of course.
Yeah, we had over 100 volunteers who participated in those Zoom meetings. to evaluate the agencies
Right.
and make sure donor dollars are spent wisely and invested wisely in our community. They spend hours going over financials and looking at outcomes to make sure that we are good stewards of the community's money, but we couldn't do it without the 100+ volunteers that help us each year.
Well, that's how I got started at United Way, and I look forward to doing it every year. And even having been on the board for so many years, and again, this past year working together, a couple weeks ago, I was asked to take a minute and tell my one favorite thing about the United Way. And I told Candace, I said, I can't do just one, but because we're talking about the programs that we have that help our community. There's so many programs that reach out in the community, but it's also the people. So those two things together, the programs that we provide and the people we get to work with, make this a wonderful experience. I don't even see it as volunteering or civic duty for me. I enjoy it. I love being a part, and I'm glad to be a part with you and everybody that does this. So both the programs and the people are what makes us quite unique.
Oh, definitely. The work that's going on in the community and our partner agencies, the programs and services that they offer. And we could not do what we do without our volunteers. And our volunteer leadership, our board of directors, and all of the volunteers really stepped up to help us out and have our backs in a very difficult year. So we're grateful for all of our volunteers who have helped us.
We those of us that volunteer, we come from different industries. Well, I work in higher education, and so I was talking to a class the other day, and we were talking about the past year. And they said, Phil, stop telling us about the past year and what we're missing, and tell us about the future. Tell us what we're getting to do. So this is the same thing United Way, right? We have, the future is bright. We've got a lot of things to look forward to as we cast our vision moving forward for the coming year and years in United Way. There's a lot of challenges, but a whole lot of opportunities.
Oh, definitely. And we're wanting to put our best foot forward. We feel like hopefully we've made the turn from 2020, and we're getting ready to start doing a lot of planning. We want to give everyone in our community the opportunity for a better tomorrow. And that's kind of what we're all about.
Yes.
So, we're looking for ways to break down those barriers and remove obstacles so everyone has that opportunity to succeed.
And I'm thinking, so whether a family or someone watching has had a direct relationship with United Way, my family's benefited from United Way services for many years, and boy, that makes it personal. When you have something that benefits and helps your family, but a lot of good to look forward to as we plan for, well, it's 2021, and the next year. It's right around the corner, of course.
That's right. This year's campaign was also like none other that I had ever seen before. Normally we're out talking to folks and telling our United Way story face to face, and that just couldn't happen this year. So we had to get very creative with our campaign.
Yeah, one of the words that we've always heard this year. I tell people, I hope I never hear them again, but unprecedented. We had to pivot. I mean, this is a pivot, right? Presenting the annual meeting in this fashion. But Giving Tuesday, I got to be a part of that. We still got to go visit some people so we can have events, but to let our donors know how important they are to the process, because they really make all this happen.
That's right. Erica and Bond Life are so good to us, and each year on Giving Tuesday, we pick up coffee there and we take it out to some of our United Way volunteers. And this year we got our mask on and we headed out to some of our dedicated volunteers, and she actually raises money for United Way that day. Her sales go to United Way on Giving Tuesday, and this year she raised more for United Way than ever before.
Wow.
So that was just one of the really cool ways that we were able to do things a little differently and still raise money for our campaign and for our partner agencies.
Yeah, so we continue to grind out the things that mean most important, which are those connections to get folks to help us, like with Giving Tuesday. William Hall Rogers, also, that's another important part of what we do that helps us get the best result possible, again, in an unprecedented year.
That's right. William Hall Rogers' long time tradition of food baskets at Christmas for needy families, and we were able to continue that tradition. That too looked a little different. We weren't able to have as many volunteers come in, but the usual folks, Cook's Food Store and many others, came together to help us make this happen, and we were able to provide food baskets for over 600 families.
Wow. So we see there are many different ways that we're helping serve families. Ocoee Connect, William Hall Rogers, these things are all things that we're doing to serve the community, and I'm certainly proud to be a part of it.
have a lot of great things planned for you this week, so make sure you join us on Facebook every day at noon.
And we're looking forward to having this unique, creative way for our annual meeting, but hope you'll join us. We're going to share it. We'll get it out there, and we invite you to do the same as you invite other people to be a part of this historic, unprecedented event together.
We will be live right here on Facebook every day this week at noon, diving into all that we have accomplished as a community over the next few days, because there is no United Way without you. So please grab your lunch and tune in.